Good evening, everyone. We are in the third network topologies, which is bus topologies. The bus topology is the most popular LAN topology. It is so named because the nodes are all connected to a common cable, the bus. One or more servers centralize control, communications, and file transfer between workstations. Which is all computers and network is connected to a single cable. This techniques, which has been used for over 2 decades because it's simple, reliable, and general less costly to install than the ring topology. And it works well when you have a small network. Saka yung advantage nito is easiest network topology for connecting computers or peripherals in a linear functions. Tas mas less yung length ng cable na nare-require kaysa topology, star topology. Next is the fifth topology, which is the client-server topology. Client-server topology, access to a network's resources is controlled by central servers, and that central servers determines who is allowed to use those resources and even when those resources, which is all controlled by central servers. Mag-base tayo dun sa may figure 3.23. Bali, yung client dito, sila yung service requesters. Tas yung client application is structure that partition tasks or workloads between the providers of resource of service, which is called servers. Dahil dito, hindi basta-basta madadamage yung system kasi controlled naman ito ng dedicated server. Saka yung backup and network security is controlled centrally. Next is network control. We examine methods for controlling communications between the physical devices connected to the networks. Para yung itatransmit na data is mas matransmit ng maayos at makontrol yung bawat devices or networks sa pag-transmit ng data. Thus, network control is a network of nodes that collectively monitor, sense, and control of or enable control of an environment for a particular purpose. The purpose of network control is to perform the following tasks. First, establish a communication sessions between the sender and the receiver. Second, manage the flow of data across the network. Third, detect and resolve data collision between competing nodes. Fourth, detect errors in data that line failure or signal degeneration cause. Next is data collision. Two or more signals transmitted simultaneously will result in a data collisions which destroy both message. Kasi kapag nangyari yun, yung message must be retransmitted and the sending device does not receive a clear response back within the allotted time. Kaya only one node at a time can transmit a message on a single line. In data collision, there are several techniques for managing sessions and controlling data collisions, but most of them are variants of three methods. First, polling. Second, token passing. Third, carrier sensing. The first method to avoid data collision is polling. Polling is the most popular technique for establishing a communication session in one site designated the master pulls the other slave sites to determine if they have data to transmit. If a slave responds in the affirmative, the master site locks the network while the data are transmitted. Tignan natin yung figure 3.24. Bali maglalak yung master sa ibang slave para di makonect yung ibang slave sa master if ever na-determine or na-pull na may isang slave na na may data na itatransmit. Tapos yung remaining sites must wait until they are pulled before they can transmit. There are two primary advantages to polling. First, polling is non-contentious because nodes can send data only when the master node requests. Two nodes can never access the network at the same time. Data collisions are therefore prevented. Second, an organization can set priorities for data communication across the network. Important nodes can be polled more often than less important nodes. Next is the second methods to avoid data collision, which is token passing. It involves transmitting a special signal, the token, around the network from node to node in a specific sequence. Each node on the network receives the token, regenerates it, and passes it to the next node. Only the node possessing the token is allowed to transmit data. Ay nga, bali yung token, iikot siya papunta sa bawat node. Tapos, kung sinong node lang makaka-receive ng token, siya lang pwede mag-transmit ng data. Tapos yung isang box doon, ay yung pinangbablock o pangbablock kasi para ma-ensure na no data collision occurs. Tapos after mag-transmit, saka naman ito mapapasa sa ibang nodes yung token. Ay mag-base tayo dun sa figure 3.25. Thus, token passing can be used with either ring or bus topology. Thus, a major advantage of token passing is its deterministic access method, which is avoid data collisions. Next is the last method to prevent data collisions, which is carrier sensing. Carrier sensing, ito yung contrast ng token passing. Is a random access technique that detect collisions when they occur. This technique, which is formally labeled carrier sense multiple access with collisions detections, is used with the bus topologies. This approach is not as fail-safe as token passing. If it senses no transmission in progress or no carriers, the node transmit its passage to receiving nodes. Ay nga dahil multiple access siya, collision can occur when two or more nodes unaware of each other's intent to transmit do so simultaneously when they independently perceive the line to be clear. Ayun, kapag nangyari yun, yung the network server direct each node to wait a unique and random period of time, then retransmit the message. Ayun, next is section C, malicious and destructive programs. First, virus. Virus is a program usually destructive that attaches itself to a legitimate program to penetrate the operating system and destroy application programs, data, files in the operating system itself. Ay nga, familiar naman tayo kung ano yung virus, di ba? Kung paano niya sinisira yung file sa system kapag nakapasok na to sa devices natin. Thus, virus program usually attach themselves to the following types of files. First, an .x or .com program file. Second, an .obl or overlay program file. Third, the boot sector of a disk. Fourth, a device driver program. Tapos yung personal computers are a major source of virus penetrations. Then yung mechanism for spreading virus include email attachment, downloading public domain programs from the internet, and using illegal bootleg software. Next is worm. Worm is used interchangeable with virus. A worm is a software program that virtually burrows into the computer's memory and replicates itself into areas of idle memory. Ayun nga, dahil nagre-replicate itself siya, papasukin niya lahat ng pwedeng pasukin sa system mo. Kaya minsan napapansin natin na kinakain na lang yung ibang space or storage hanggang yung memory magiging exhausted and magloko na. Next is logic bomb. A logic bomb is a destructive program such as a virus that some predetermined event triggers, often a date such as Friday the 13th, April Fool's Day, or the 4th of July will be the logic bomb's trigger. For example, during the customary 2-week severance period, a terminated programmer may embed a logic bomb in the system that will activate 6 months after his or her departure from the firm. Next is a backdoor, also called a trapdoor, is a software program that allows unauthorized access to a system without going through the normal front door log-on procedure. Ayun nga, which the programmer who want to provide themselves with unrestricted access to a system that they are developing for users may create a logon procedures that will accept either the user's private passwords or their own secret password, then creating a backdoor to the system. Tas yung purpose ng backdoor, maybe to provide easy access to perform program maintenance, or minsan nagiging risk din siya kasi pwede yung programmer pwede siya mag-perpetrate ng fraud or insert a virus into the system. Next is Trojan Horse. Is a program whose purpose is to capture IDs and passwords from unsuspecting users. These programs are designed to mimic the normal logon procedures of the operating system. Ayun nga, isang malware na ginagawa ng mga programmers or unsuspecting users para makuha yung iba't ibang account na pwedeng nakawin once na nakopy nila yung IDs and password mo. Ayan, thank you. Lang po yung report.